Welcome to the second season of Female Soulpreneurs Growing Their Business. I'm Lais, your host, and this podcast is your go-to destination for a harmonious blend of business wisdom, inner healing, and profound insights. Join me in exploring the journey of growing your business in alignment with your higher self. In each episode, we dive deep into the healing needs for personal and professional growth, unraveling spiritual concepts, sharing tangible tips and tricks for entrepreneurial success. From heartfelt solocasts to enlightening conversations with expert guests, I cover a spectrum of topics that resonate with the core of your business. Get ready to elevate your entrepreneurial spirit. This is the Female Soulpreneurs Growing Their Business podcast, where business meets spirituality. Let the transformative journey begin. This time I'm answering a question that I received so many times over the last 10 years, which is, how do I start my healing business, or what are the essential pieces that I need to have in place in order to start my healing business? Now, I started my healing business just over a decade ago. I had left corporate. I was on a quest to find myself, and I found myself through entering this spiritual world and the world of healing and energy and intuition and all of that. I was so fascinated by it that I invested all of my savings into studying energy work, studying mindset work, studying space clearing, crystal healing, intuitive development, all the things that would help me. And by doing so, by finding myself through these things and really enjoying doing it, I decided I would start my own business because it was just what I was really into back then and still am. And so while I started my business offline, lots of people nowadays are asking me how to start this online business. So what are the essential things to have in place for that? If you are a new healer, I will say the very first thing that is important for you to have in place is confidence in what it is you're doing. So whatever modality you're trained in, be it Reiki, be it any other form of energy healing or mindset work, whatever it is, EFT, there's so many beautiful things out there. Be really confident. And I don't mean like cocky confident, like you know all the answers, because life is a journey and we are never done with learning. But be confident in a way that you know you're good at what it is that you do and you already ideally had some results. Now, when I went through my Reiki training, part of the training was we had to practice on level 1, I think on 8 people, and then level 2, maybe even more people, 10 or more. And I think up to 30 people for my Reiki master. And I did even more than that. So I really, literally every minute that I had free, I would go and find guinea pigs that I could practice my energy healing on. I also practiced my intuitive awareness. I did a psychic development course, and I remember reaching out to my mom, who was based in the UK, and she had a hypnosis business. And so she already had clients, and she asked them, my daughter is giving away for free some intuitive readings, and who would be up for that? And of course, lots of people said yes. And so I got into practicing my intuition. And I think what I did back then was write up chakra reports. I would go through every single chakra and intuitively read what was in that chakra, what was blocking them, what was coming up for healing, or just for them to be aware of, so they would stop repeating those negative patterns and manifest something better in their life. And so by practicing that, I realized, because that's what intuition is, it's a muscle. The more we practice, the bigger it gets, and the more confident we become also in our abilities. I practice, both the energy healing side of things, positive psychology with EFT, for example. Tapping was a big thing back then. I think it still is. And the intuition side of things. And so by the time the year passed by and I started my business, I really had the confidence. I knew what I was doing. I had practiced a lot. I knew all the steps. And so I wasn't doubting myself. It was more questions centered around, okay, so I know all this stuff, but how do I find the clients now that actually pay me? But yes, that's the next step then. The first step, I want you to be really confident in whatever service it is you want to provide. If necessary, get the guinea pigs, ask friends, family, ask them to reach out to their friends and family, so you also have some strangers, because sometimes it's weird to practice on friends that you already know. It's always, in my mind, it's better to practice on people you know barely anything about, so that you get a confirmation and you know, yeah, that was really good because I knew nothing beforehand, right? Yes, so practice, get the feedback, get testimonials in. So if you offer something for free, get testimonials in return. This is so important. And once you launch your one-on-one services or your group program, whatever it is you are launching, you already have people saying, you know, I really enjoyed working with this person. She's really good at this, and this. People will much more likely be buying from you. So that's one thing that I did really well, is in that year when I was practicing a lot, I got already some testimonials in that I put up on my website. Now, do you need a website? I get that question a lot. I created my own website for free back then, all those 10 years back, because I simply had no savings to get an expensive branded website and a fancy logo. So even the logo I did myself. Of course, I laugh about it nowadays, because when I look back at what I had created back then, it doesn't look good at all, right? But it did its job. It was a simple website. I had a blog on there. I was an avid blogger. I was blogging about my spiritual journey, about my healing journey, and inspirational blog content. And I started sharing it on social media, mainly Facebook, and people started to become aware of what it is that I was doing, that I was offering. They had been following me on my healing journey, so they could see the transformation that I myself went through since quitting corporate and my 9-to-5 job. And so they were much more likely to actually try a session with me, because they had seen what transformation I had gone through, which is another tip. It's don't be in this spiritual closet, I call it. Like, don't hide away your gifts and your transformation you're going through. Be open about it. Share about it with your loved ones on your Facebook, on your social media. I mean, without even, putting your offers out there. Let them be part of your whole journey of who you were before you went on that journey, and then throughout the journey, share the things you are working on, how you're feeling, what the transformation was like for you. Because then people are much more likely to really believe in what it is you're offering, because they saw what it did for yourself. And your story is really part of your sales. Like, when people came to me, they already had followed me on social media. They already knew what I was going through, what I had been working through, how I became a better version because of it. And they were more likely because they felt I was authentic, I was a real person. I wasn't just a business that put out something suddenly out of nowhere, right? They already had seen it coming. And so that's what you need to focus on, to get those people who already know you to invest in your services, get some testimonials up, and then ask them for referrals, which is another tip. Ask them for referrals. If they enjoyed the session with you, ask them, do you know any people who would benefit from this? If so, would you mind putting my name out there? My business in the first few years grew primarily, if not only, through referrals. People sending in their family members, their partners, their friends, their colleagues, etc. Referrals, it's such a big thing. So don't feel bad about asking for it. Of course, your job also should work on its own. Like, if you did a good job, people will naturally speak about you and endorse you. Many times I didn't even ask for it. People would just go and promote my services to their friends. But in case they don't, you can always just ask for it, either verbally after the session or as a follow-up email, follow-up message, in whichever way or form it feels more suitable to you. Referral business will be your best friend when you start your business. As for all the rest, you don't need any of the fancy stuff. As I said, you don't need somebody who does your amazing website, a logo, branded templates, a copywriter. I don't know what it is that people spend their money on nowadays. I would wait for those things until you really have income coming in that is sustainable, and you cover your bills, of course, and you have more to save up. Then I would start asking about investing in a nicer website. But you would be surprised. People don't really pay attention how nice your website looks. They just want to know that they can trust you and the transformation you provide them with. And mainly that happens through testimonials, through referrals at the initial stages. And my last tip is I found that, especially with Reiki healing, even though it's such a big thing nowadays and lots of people heard about it, there's still lots of people who know nothing about energy healing, be it Reiki, be it any other form of healing. And so they might not sign up to work with you one-on-one. And so when I was meditating, I was channeling this idea of creating a 4-week program that was centered around meditation. So I would guide meditations, but also it was called 4-week meditation and healing program. So I would introduce different healing methods each week, different ones. So 1 week would be meditation and energy healing. So while they were meditating, I would go from one to the next person. And this was, by the way, live, right? It was a physical location, but you can also do that online. While they were meditating, I would go and step behind each person and infuse them with a bit of energy healing. And you can do that just as well online by sharing distance healing to each participant in your group course. And then there would be EFT tapping, so we would tap on the meridian points. And the next week would be something else. Because I was trained in different modalities, I could give an insight into different modalities. But you can also just pick one modality. If your thing is energy healing, you can have energy healing every single week. But it's the meditation aspect that really got everybody into my group course, because it was such a buzzword back then, mindfulness, meditation, like everybody wanted to learn it. And so I got 10 to 12 people sign up for 4 weeks. And through that time, as they were getting to know me, then they would feel comfortable to also come in for one-on-one sessions and book their healing sessions with me. So that's another tip. If you find that people are not responsive to one-on-one sessions and healing as such, just introduce a new program that is easier and more accessible, right? Meditation is a huge thing. Nobody's scared of meditation. So pick something either like meditation or meditation itself, something that really speaks to a lot of people. It's easy for them to book themselves into this program. I made it at an accessible price as well, not overly expensive. So just to get people through the door and the possibility for them to get to know me on a deeper level. So I'm giving lots of little tips here. Of course, there's many more tips. If you want to work one-on-one with me, I have business programs that I work with healers, and we can work on anything from launching a beautiful group program or launching your one-on-one offer, get clarity on your pricing, on your offering, or whatever it is that you need help with. Have a beautiful day.